signed a fresh extension, 212, second to only Joe Burrow in terms of per year cash. So how does that affect Dak Prescott's upcoming payday since Goff has tipped the scale? Well, here's Colin Cowherd, our friend.
The headline says, well, where does that leave Dak Prescott and the Cowboys? I don't know. Those are two different conversations because Jared Goff's a much better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl and to 2 NFC championships, same conference.
Sure. Here with us from Chicago, 670 The Score. Took the day off, I heard. Yeah. It's Danny Parkins. Yeah. We'll start with you, Nick. Yeah. What does Goff's new deal mean for Dak?
Well, I use this line on the show a lot, but I'll use it again. It's Marlo Stanfield's line. Price of the brick going up and up and up. Colin's entitled to his opinion. This is one of the reasons I'm not a quarterback wins guy. En route to that Super Bowl, Jared Goff was brutal in every game. In every game, including the game he beat the Cowboys in a playoff game en route to that Super Bowl, where he had 2 running backs both go for $115 or more, and Dak had Zeke go 20 for 40, 20 carries for 40 yards. Jared Goff had 1 touchdown pass total en route to that Super Bowl, and then in the Super Bowl they scored 3 points. Wow. And so, and people are like, he's been to a Super Bowl, and so that's why I'm not a quarterback wins guy. I think what it means for Dak, what it means for my guy Trevor, what it means for Tua, what it means for potentially Jordan Love, is all of those guys' floor is now this deal. Is that whatever and this deal, by the way.
You think all of those guys are better than Goff?
I think all of them will get more money than Goff, yeah. I think all of those guys are viewed better in Tua, maybe not viewed higher in league circles, but it's his own team that drafted him, that has built him up so much, so it's a different spot. And just real quick, Danny, Florio got the real numbers. This is not fake money. He is going to get essentially in guarantees $165 million for the next 3 years. That's $55 million a year over the next 3 years. Okay. So that was my takeaway from it.
Yeah, Colin's wrong. I mean, Dak is better than Goff, and you could do anything subjective that you want, but the numbers also show it. If you compare Dak to Goff, or you could compare him to the MVP of the league last year, Lamar Jackson, because Dak finished second on that. We've got a graphic that shows the numbers, and it compares very favorably for Dak Prescott. He led the league in touchdowns last year with 36. Jared Goff's never had 36 touchdowns in his career. Jared Goff's never had a passer rating in his career that Dak Prescott had last year. So the numbers for Dak clearly show that he's better than Goff. But then also, situation matters here. The Lions have a better offensive line than Dallas does. They have a better play caller. They got a better supporting cast. And so you take all those things, a running game, a quarterback's best friend. Detroit led the league in rushing touchdowns last year. Dallas was league average. So I'm with you. I think Dak Prescott is going to reset the quarterback market here. He'll be the first $60 million per year man in the NFL.
And also, you can just hold up the graphic since we didn't have it. That way, there is a graphic.
We did the work.
It looks good. I'm not even sure where it is, but go ahead. Yeah. See, there is a graphic at some point. But go ahead. Good job.
Dak's numbers are better in the regular season. Playoffs, I mean, Goff's numbers aren't horrible in the playoffs. No. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions and make mistakes. And I do think it's significant considering that Dak's problems have come in the postseason. Goff doesn't kill you in the postseason. And people want to give McVay the credit for him going to the Super Bowl. I get it. I thought Ty Gurley at that time was kind of their best offensive player. But, look, bringing Detroit where he did this past season, I got to give him some credit for that. Now, still, if you want to argue Dak, fine. They're in the same tier. I think they're both in that second tier, right, below the elite.
I agree with that entirely.
Right. So they're in the same tier. Look, the bottom line is Dak does have all the leverage in his talks with the Cowboys. And Yahoo Sports reported the other day that some of the teams that might go after Dak in free agency, Pittsburgh, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me because they got Justin Fields, but Pittsburgh, the Raiders, and the Giants. And the Giants are a place, we talked about it yesterday, maybe an offset. You play your quarterback in New York with the Giants, you get a lot of publicity that's similar to Dallas. But the Raiders, to me, makes the most sense. I mean, you got Devontae Adams there. They got the tight end, Brock Bowers, that they just drafted. Like that, and they obviously are dying for a quarterback. So to me, they will probably break the bank for Dak next year if he becomes a free agent.
And do you want to?
No, I wanted to talk about Trey Lance, about all the leverage that if Dak has all this leverage, there was a report that we talked about that Trey Lance is going to get more reps. Do you think that's just like, hey, let's give Trey Lance a shot, or do you think that's
in practice?
Yes, in OT. No, I think the Cowboys.
Yeah, you gotta
I think the Cowboys have handled a lot of the offseason ridiculously. Mm-hmm. I think they are handling the Dak Prescott stuff the way they should. Which is because I don't think so. I would not be comfortable making Dak. I think you're right that his money is going to be $60 million a year. I think that means you can't win. I think that if you.
But I mean, he's 30 and Goff's 29. They're 15 months apart in age. I mean, you're getting. He's still in his quarterback prime. That's why the offseason was indefensible for Dallas. They weren't able to do anything. They weren't proactive with Dak's contract. They weren't proactive with CeeDee Lamb's contract. So their big addition is Zeke Elliott.
Hey,
so I agree that their offseason was. It was, especially when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, was indefensible. Them, Jerry thinking they drafted a running back, so he talked about him, and he's like, hey, we haven't drafted him yet, and then they weren't able to. All that's bad. But I think that they are recognizing with Dak that he might be gone. Because unlike Lamar, who was franchise tagged, unlike any of these other guys, at the end of next year, they have no control over him, none whatsoever. So if the Raiders want to offer him, if the Giants want to do what I think is absolutely on the board, that a team says we want Belichick and Dak Prescott and a package deal to remake everything, and the only insurance the Cowboys could have is if they think maybe we have our new Dak Prescott in a different guy, that a draft pick who Dak was 4th-round pick. This guy was 3rd overall pick. They did give up a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance for a reason. Yeah. It wasn't for nothing.
It was also like Jerry doing it on his own.
And so there is.
You got to take a look at him in practice.
You have to see if that then flips the leverage back. If deep down Dak doesn't want to leave. You know what I mean? Which I don't know if that's the case or not, but he thinks, well, you guys got no choice. I think that's the only choice they have is to at least give Trey a look.
All right. Schedule release week continues. We've got some international flavor. Patriots Jacksonville in London, October 20th. Trevor actually pretty good on his home away from home. He's got a 3-1 record. Passer rating always solid across the pond. Nick, do you think Jacksonville is on upset alert? It's a little early for upset alert.
Yeah.
What's your guy?
No, I think, listen, this is, without seeing the Jags' full schedule, this is obviously their easiest game on it because they're playing the worst offense in the NFL and they're playing in their true home. I mean, it's Trevor's birthland.
Week 7.
And here's what, I think it is more likely that this becomes, hey, you know what, Mac? Take a couple drives in garbage time to get a little revenge rather than it is the Patriots win, and that it really sticks it to your Patriots, saying Mac with the Jags up 38-3 with Mac Jones out there.
38 points.
Well, I don't know.
You're going to score 38 points?
I'm not associated with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trevor, no one's scoring 38 points. Some people might. Trevor Lawrence not scoring 38 points on the Patriots defense.
Okay, well no, but I do not think the Jags are on upset alert.
Okay, Brew?
They're not. Okay. All right. Look, Wilds, and Trevor needs a great season, number one. All right, he needs to come out and have a great year. And like you said, this is one of the games that if you're a Jaguar, you look at and you say, okay, we got to get that one. That's one we should definitely get. They are comfortable at home. Look, the Patriots are so bad.
How bad are we?
That their biggest fanboy on national TV is like Drive for 5.
Exactly right.
5 wins.
Exactly right.
You're even saying they're only going to win 5 games, so they're not going to upset Jacksonville.
Over 4.5 is the line. We should obviously.
No. What you're saying is Drive for 5. You
saying the defense will be pretty good.
I mean,
and then I don't know is Drake May going to be good?
Stagnant.
I don't know. I don't
play.
Right.
I'll probably be this the game in this. I'm sorry to give everybody a pop quiz. You get the bye after London.
Usually you get to decide. They let the team say, do you want it on the front end or the back end or neither?
But Jacksonville's playing back-to-back.
Yeah, so they're there. But I wonder if this is.
Oh, that was the other thing you guys complained
Brissett's
about.
last game, and then Drake, and then a bye, and then Drake comes in. This would be the kind of.
Drake May is starting week 1.
I don't think.
Because yes, because Jonathan Kraft wants him to, and Robert Kraft wants him to.
No.
I know he's not ready to.
He's going to have. If he starts next year, he will have a bad season. everybody will be down on him and think, we blew
How
it,
many,
let's
how
get
many
another
games could he
quarterback.
win?
Not 5.
He might be able to win 5.
There we go.
Not going to be
Everybody
enough
wins.
to save him.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.